is one topic in the GLP-1 community that I feel like causes so much anxiety. And that topic is maintenance. I feel like for so many of us, maintenance is something that we've never necessarily stayed in for very long, so it's unknown. We don't really have a plan. We don't have any sort of real support or guidance going into it. And so today, I want to talk about not only what maintenance actually can look like, but why it's not that scary. So by the end of this video, I want you to not only feel less anxiety when you think about maintenance, but also feel like you have a plan for when that period comes up for you. Hi, if you are new here, my name's Betty, and over the past 14 months, I have lost over 100 pounds with the help of Zepbound. And in today's video, since I am approaching maintenance, it's been top of mind. It is something that I think about, and I know it's what a lot of you also are thinking about because I hear it in the comments all the time. So today, let's talk about maintenance. Let's talk about the type of support we can have as we move into maintenance, and let's talk about what maintenance actually is. So some of the questions that I hear a lot are, how do I know when I'm ready for maintenance? What is maintenance going to look like? I'm afraid that I'm going to gain the weight back in maintenance. And these are all valid fears. They're valid questions and valid concerns. For so many of us, we've lost weight a bunch of times, but we haven't been able to maintain it for very long. So maintenance is a new and probably fairly foreign concept for a lot of us. So of course we have questions. Of course we're unsure of what's to come. Let's start with, what is maintenance? Maintenance is simply the period of time after someone has lost weight where they try to maintain their weight. And what that means from a caloric standpoint is you are no longer in a caloric deficit, you are at a caloric balance. So the energy that you expend matches the energy that you take in. And in a lot of cases, this change in calories isn't very much. I recently had a call with a dietitian, and I had mentioned, I'm getting to the point in my journey where I'll be entering maintenance soon. I am very comfortable with losing weight. I know what that's like, but looking long term, what needs to change so that I can optimize my health and wellness while also maintaining the change that I have created in my body. And one of the things she mentioned was, right now in my deficit, I'm around 15-ish hundred calories a day. And in order to go to maintenance, I'd be around, between 17 and 1800 calories a day. And basically what she said, she's like, all that really is one or two snacks. And honestly, I know that's so simple. I understand that a couple hundred calories is a couple, snacks throughout the day, or maybe it's moving from fat-free Greek yogurt to whole fat Greek yogurt. But when a non-interested party just lays out the facts for you and says, no, this is what it actually is, it just puts things into perspective, because really nothing needs to change in maintenance other than you're just adding 1 to 2 snacks into your day. If we could just look at it that way, how simple would this be? Yes, there is the emotional piece, and I talked about that in a video previous to this, and that's probably the biggest piece of this puzzle. However, when we look at it just from the facts, logistically, it can be so simple. Not really much has to change in our day-to-day. And that's why building these foundations, the strength training, the getting the protein in, the water, the movement, the sleep, the stress, this whole kind of holistic approach to health, all those pieces are important for health and wellness. They are important for weight loss. They are important for maintenance as well. So let's take a minute to talk about the nutrition piece of this. There have been a lot of you who have reached out asking for nutritional guidance, and there are some of you who have some underlying conditions, whether it's thyroid, whether it's, diabetes. There are certain kind of metabolic conditions that maybe require a more nuanced approach to nutrition. While I can help provide workouts and I can give general nutrition advice for, how to get enough protein in and the kind of the whole foods that we should be eating, it is beyond my scope of practice to prescribe eating plans or to give really specific nutritional advice. So that is something that I have been trying to figure out a way to have a resource for you, because as much as I would love to help, I'm not going to step over that boundary because that's irresponsible and that's not something that I would do. Because at the end of the day, we are all individual. We have different systems running through our bodies. We have different individual needs. So it can be really, really beneficial to have a personalized approach to your own nutritional needs. I can't look at your individual blood work to know what your nutritional status is. I don't know if the supplements that you're taking are working for your body. I don't know what your personal maintenance journey is going to look like based on your health history, based on your medical needs. That's something that would need clinical nutrition support. And that's really where a registered dietitian comes into play. So like I said, I had my appointment the other week, and it was so nice to sit down with someone and really have them go over everything with me. What supplements am I taking? What does my lifestyle look like? What does my diet look like? To really get a feel for what's working and what could be tweaked a little bit. And overall, I was just really impressed with the professionalism, with the ease of it all. And that is why I'm very excited to be partnering with Nourish. Nourish is a platform that connects you with registered dietitians. It is an app. It is so simple. You can open up your phone, pull up the app, schedule an appointment within less than 5 minutes. You can schedule blood work. The dietitian can actually read your labs, interpret them for you, and then make a plan moving forward specific to your labs of how to adjust your lifestyle as necessary. They accept hundreds of insurance plans, and 94% of people pay zero out of pocket. There is no surprise fees. What they tell you up front is what you pay, no surprises, which means that this coverage is accessible. And let me tell you, the convenience. I don't know about you, but if I can meet with an expert in the comfort of my home, in my pajamas if I wanted to, don't worry, I didn't wear my pajamas, that just makes the barrier to entry so much less. I feel like, especially with health and wellness, things can get expensive, things can get challenging, and so it makes it that much harder for us to take care of our health. It can be kind of a hassle if you have to make the appointment and drive to an office. This way it's all done from your app. You can also access it on the desktop as well. And I now have a resource for those of you who have been asking these really important questions that I am just not qualified to help you with. If you've been feeling confused about what you should be eating, if you have more complex health needs, if you are entering maintenance and you just want to have a personalized plan moving forward to not only maintain the weight that you've lost, but to optimize your overall metabolism and health, and checking out the link below. It's nourish.com/thebettymethod. And please let me know how it goes. I want every single one of us to have access to the tools and to the support that we need. And while I want to be a source of support and education for you guys, there are just certain things that you need an expert for. Hi. So let's bring this back to the plan piece of this. As I get ready to move into maintenance, I will be looking at starting to slowly increase my calories. I don't want to increase my calories, overnight, but I do want to slowly start incorporating maybe 50 more calories a day over a few weeks or so, just to kind of build myself up to that higher calorie range as our bodies adjust. It's also important to continue focusing on the healthy habits that have been created over, your weight loss journey. The strength training, the, movement, the healthy foods, the high protein, drinking your water, less stress, better sleep, all the things that we know, right? We know these are pillars of, health and wellness. And this is probably the biggest shift that I'll be making, but I'm going to start taking the emphasis off the scale. So when we're losing weight, yes, it makes sense that we're using the scale to measure our weight. But as we move into maintenance, that is not a metric that we need to be tracking as closely. I will probably start weighing less frequently. Right now, I weigh once a day. So that's not something that I need to do throughout maintenance. Maybe it'll be every 1 week, every 2 weeks, just to kind of make sure things are staying stable. But if we're no longer looking at the weight loss on the scale, we need to start looking at other metrics that we can use to measure our health and our progress. And if you are someone who wants to start building muscle at the gym, well, then the scale could probably mess with your head a little bit, because it might either stay the same or go up because muscle weighs more than fat. So that's when we want to look at something like muscle mass and the percentage of muscle you have on your body as it relates to your overall weight. If you're someone who, you know what, you decided that you want to be able to run a mile in 8 minutes, then we don't need the scale for that, right? And I think what's happened is that so many of us have been taught to use the scale as the number that means overall health. When you think about it, the number on the scale is literally the entire weight of your bones, of your muscle, of your fat, of your water, of your organs. That's what the weight is. That's what that number on the scale says. We have just been programmed to say, okay, if this number is X, it means I'm unhealthy. If it's this, it means I'm healthy. But that's not true. If we try to use the scale to measure our overall health, that's like someone having a goal of running an 8-minute mile, but they're measuring how many squats they can do. That's not going to give you the feedback you want. But I think we've just put all that responsibility on the scale. And so throughout the whole weight loss journey and beyond, I think it's important to take some of the responsibility off of the scale, off of that number. It is one number to look at, and it is a metric of, how much our body weighs, but it's so much more important to know what your body is made up of. It's so important to know what your labs look like. And those are things that are so important to know and to track and to be able to help modify if possible. While the overall healthy habits that I have been living will stay the same, the biggest piece I think is going to be the shift in what I'm focusing on. I'm curious, what part of the journey are you in? Are you in maintenance already? Are you approaching? Are you still losing? Are you someone who hasn't even started their GLP-1 yet? Please let me know below. I would love to know where you are. And I really appreciate you all being here. And I hope that this video was helpful. Again, if you are someone who's looking for more in-depth nutritional support or just to know where are you at numbers wise, something that I've been doing is I've been taking my labs about every 3 months or so just to see what my numbers are doing, how they're improving, how they're changing. And if that's something that you're interested in, the fact that you can do it through the Nourish app is so amazing. So definitely take advantage of that. Again, it's nourish.com/thebetty-method. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, I would love it if you would like it, subscribe, say hello down below, and share this video. If you know someone who would benefit, please share. I would love to get this message out to as many people as possible. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time.